Hi John, thanks for the footage and well done in regards to the changes so far, P1 to P4, certainly more tilt in the swing. Just in regard to that, we use the cane through, I seem to recall, either the belt loops or the chest, anyway, same sort of process. And we talked about getting the target side of that cane working down as quickly as possible and the impact that would have on the lead shoulder's trajectory, working more down and across, keeping the head stable, and also the knee action. So the lead knee will flex forward as per the down the line arrows as it works inwards. So that knee can come in, but as it comes in, it's got to flex forward. So in your mind, if you think for every inch it moves towards the target line, it can move in, or for every inch it's moving in, courtesy of the rotation of the hips, it must move towards the target line to offset it and allow you to maintain stability. So in regards to that, as you're going to see here in a second, you can't really do that too much. I'm going to get rid of certain arrows. I'm going to leave the knees and the cane on there just as an overall visual and pop a little line down the side of your head. And what you're going to see here is just a little bit of movement off the ball and up, but nowhere near as much as before. And that's where that cane working down quicker and that lead knee flexing forward more. So you can see there it's come in without flexing forward quite enough. When you look at it from down the line, you see the knees do change flex. But if you watch that lead knee from about P2, 2.5, it doesn't continue to flex forward, it works in. Having said that, far more tilt than you had before. That move and that issue is going to be an ongoing battle for you, as it is for many golfers, myself included, for pretty much your golfing life. I think it would be wrong for me to suggest otherwise. But the way the knees work affects the way the pelvis works, affects the way the lead shoulder works, and allows you to maintain more stability in the head during the backswing. Now then, in regards to your current issues, and obviously the handicap's coming down, so things are definitely improving. What I see here in transition, and you talked about you feeling like your downswing is the area of the biggest concern at the moment, particularly through impact. If we watch what happens to your head during transition, it drops down and works back slightly. But the main move is down. And the reason for that is because the pelvis is driving forward, which is fine. So it's rotating, it's sliding. But as you're doing that, you're not releasing your accumulators. So you're hanging onto the right arm, hanging onto the left arm a little bit too much. So from P4 to P6, you're lowering the club courtesy of the driving of the hips and the lowering of this trail shoulder. When you look at it from down the line, you're going to see that as you transition, that trail shoulder drops further and further behind you. The chest is very closed at P6. So you see here, this shoulder's sort of kept back as the arms are hung onto, and it's basically a driving of the lower body that's lowering the golf club for you. The problem you've got now is you've got this really severe corner to turn down at the bottom, and it's too much work to do in too short a space of time. So what you then do is you use the wrist action to help you turn the corner, and you see it very clearly from face on. That right hand working underneath, overtaking rate gets very high, and that's going to cause you issues in regards to club face stability and certainly quality of strike. It's also going to increase dynamic loft, which is a great way of losing distance. But a telltale sign for you is the tilt in the head and the way it works down. So the pelvis driving forward and the arms not keeping up with that movement. If you look at the worst golfers from P4, they just fire the arms. They don't do anything with the body. Right arm straightens out quick, wrist straightens out quick, shaft gets very parallel to the ground very early, and the arc gets very wide. In your case, you hang on to things for too long, bit of a good player's disease. right shoulder works down more than it works around. Now you've got a situation where you've got this big corner to turn and you're struggling to do so. If the trail shoulder, I beg your pardon, was more in this position, you were more chest onto the ball at P6, then the corner you would have to turn down at the bottom would be more like this, more of a gradual arc. And that would be a realistic sort of goal to achieve, courtesy of the body's rotation, and the wrist wouldn't have to do as much. So it's a little bit of a combination of slowing down the body and speeding up the arms, certainly slowing down the sliding rate of the body. As the sliding rate calms down, it becomes much easier to rotate. The hand path through the ball will be a little bit better as well, and the knees won't look as saggy as you're coming through the golf ball. So the drill that you want to spend a little bit of time doing is a drill that you would have seen Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, etc. doing in recent years. I'm just going to get myself up doing it for you now, just to give you a feel for the way to implement this into your swing. Okay, so when you're practicing this, what I would suggest you do is take your normal setup first, then separate the hands on the club. So there's a little bit more distance between the trail hand and the lead hand. Swing back to P4, and your goal now is to straighten out the arms quicker whilst maintaining the angle in the wrist. And you're trying to feel like the arms are working down at the same rate the lower body is driving forward. And you can see as I do that, straightening the right arm out quicker, speeding up the left arm, the head stays nice and stable, the chest starts to rotate towards the golf ball. If I hung on to those accumulators, the only way I would be able to lower the butt of the club is by driving the hips towards the target, and the head then starts to work in a very similar manner to yours in the footage that you sent across. Allowing the pelvis to move forward, but allowing the arms, or making sure the arms keep up with that. And a really good way of seeing whether you're doing this sufficiently is trying to make sure that as you straighten out the right arm, as you speed up the left arm, the butt of the club is in line with the belt buckle as the shaft arrives parallel with the ground. If you're doing that, you're creating just enough axis tilt at P6. The further you drive the pelvis forward and the more you hang on to the arms, you end up creating excessive axis tilt down at P6, as per that image. And when viewed from down the line, you're not as much chest onto the ball at P6. The right shoulder is lower and more pulled back, and you've got a bigger corner to turn than when you speed up the arms and calm the pelvis down a little bit. Do that pre-shot, then hit a shot when you're out on the golf course. When you're at the range, I would suggest maybe sort of alternating between the drill I'm demonstrating there and one where you get to the top of your backswing with your normal grip, pump it once, pump it again, and then on the third one, bang, hit your shot. So things are progressing nicely. Hope you're keeping well during this very strange period that we're all experiencing at the moment, and look forward to hearing your progress with this. Keep up the good work in regards to the handicap, and remember that when you're out there, whilst you are working on your swing, you've still got to golf your ball.